G'day guys, welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Tape, a podcast where we focus on the people doing cool things and rad things within the Australian mountain bike industry, plus a few others when we jump overseas. This episode, of course, is brought to you by Canyon Bikes. Canyon have come on board to help this podcast and hugely grateful for the support they're giving us. Jump over to their website. Buying a bike from these guys is super easy. You just go over, click on their page, find the bike you want, order it, and it's here within a week. The other new sponsor that we're bringing on board is Nova Wheels. We're doing that through Two Up Components in Australia. They're doing those wheels now. They're also doing Factor components. They've been bringing them in for 6 to 8 months now. They're hopefully going to have an online store as well. We'll be working with them through 2021. One of our oldest and greatest sponsors is NS Dynamics. They're back on for 2021 as well. Australia's premium suspension servicing company. I've been getting a lot of work done through those guys lately. Super quick turnaround. Within 24 hours, if AusPost is nice enough, you get your stuff back within a week. It is epic. And their hyper performance tune makes the suspension feel like nothing else. They also deal with Olin's, DVO, Cane Creek, and a few other brands as well, like Forsprung if you want to do something custom. Also, we've got Huck the World on as well. So those guys have been on board as well for a while. Loving their tech tees and love their riding t-shirts as well. Jump over there, use Beyond the Tape 10. That will get you a 10% discount on all their kit. Super good kit. I wouldn't wear anything else. Lastly, thanks to FSR Industries for helping us out and producing all the audio for the podcast and just helping me with this video equipment as well. Super thankful there. So if you need any stuff done by him, hit him up, Instagram, email, whatever. He'll help you out and get you sorted. All right. So on this podcast, we're joined by Nick Hills. He is a artist. Something a little bit different for this podcast. We go into his artistry, bikes, how the two kind of connect, how he was quite an accomplished BMXer, where things kind of took a change, and how his passion for mountain biking and bikes helps his art, and vice versa. It's a really interesting podcast. We go into a few different things. He was super nervous in this one. I was nervous because I'm a huge fan of his art, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Anyway, as usual, grab a water, grab a beer, grab a wine, grab whatever makes you happy, and enjoy the podcast.
BMX days, I guess. I used to ride with some older dudes from up north, and one of them goes by the name of Brad Cross. He used to call me Hoist, and I guess that went through him to a bunch of other people, and it just took off. And I had so many nicknames. I don't even remember half of them, but that was a pretty strong one. And it's obviously like an Australian icon. The old Cobbs line, so it works, I guess.
It's so good. It works so perfectly. It's rad.
Yeah, we just run with it. Half the people don't understand what it means, but that's okay.
That's all right. We're here to educate.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like you got it for BMX. How long were you kind of riding BMX for?
Oh man, I'd probably like doing tricks and all that sort of stuff from when I was like 13, but I've always been on the bike like from when I was a little tacker, like everyone always says. But I suppose it's probably my dad and my cousins got me into it when I was smaller. Like I just have like memories of my cousins riding around on those like old chromed out mongooses and Haros with the black mags, and I don't know,
so
good stands everywhere. And I remember my cousin Andrew, he built me up a 20-inch, I think it was like a Diamondback thing, and I was like way too small for it, riding around with my hands up around my ears. And I don't know, I had the idea of riding for a long time, but I never really knew BMX was a thing till like high school, I suppose.
how good were Skyways and like those mags, by the way? They were so sick.
Yeah, man. You just don't appreciate that shit at the time, but yeah, as time goes on, I wish I still had that bike that he built me. Like, I wouldn't even have a clue what it is now, but I'm sure it's a museum-worthy thing these days.
Nah, man, like those Skyways, you'd probably get $2,000 for them right now.
Yeah.
You send them like, this is a huge tangent. I don't know if you know this, but there's like a huge old school BMX market in Japan.
Yeah.
And you can like, dude, you clean up on all that stuff. It's insane how much they're paying for a day.
Yeah, right. I've seen a few guys that have like full museum kind of setups at their houses, like just schmick old school bikes. Like, I'd love to have a look through that. Kind of.
Yeah, we got a guy here that's got like the Oz Mountain Bike Museum down here, and he's got all the old 90s like mountain bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
They may as well be BMXs. They're so small, but it's so rad to look at like where you came from. It's weird.
Yeah.
You've been down in Tassie your whole life?
Yeah, man. Like, I was born here and I've never moved. Like, I moved to Melbourne for a while there, like for a few months, but I don't know. I love it here, man. I'm not intending on going anywhere. Like, this is my home and I'm just obsessed with it, and it's just a beautiful place and I just love it. Like, yeah, it's just treated me well. My family's here. Heaps of my friends are here. Have a lot of friends on the mainland too, but yeah, I'll stay here, I reckon. That's the plan anyway.
But like, there wasn't the same internet content and stuff back in the day. Like, what was the BMX scene kind of like down in Tassie? Like, I never really kind of got exposed to it.
Yeah, it's never been a massive thing. Like, I'll go back a bit to where I got into it, and like I said, I had no idea it was even a thing, but when I went into high school, I was a bit of a loner and I didn't have didn't have any friends, to be honest. And it was just randomly, I think, in my home group at grade 7. It was one of my best buddies to this day. His name is Simon Reed. He sat next to me one day and we got chatting, and he I don't know, I just found out that he raced BMX. Like, he raced at the local track, and yeah, I guess I was into bikes in the back of my mind, so I went and watched, and we just, I don't know, went from there, man. Like, got a bit obsessed with it, I guess. I mean, he introduced me to some other guys too, so there was like 2 or 3 of us that were just like bombing around the streets. Like, there's nothing to ride, so just like ride park benches and dig little kickers into banks or whatever, and send it, do whatever we could, I don't know, whatever we could make happen. And then yeah, it went from there, man. Like, we just got full obsessed with it, just buying BMX magazines, and we didn't have any like BMX shops down here. So, there was this one fella who ran a BMX shop out of his garage, and there was like 10 parts on the wall, and like, if that didn't fit your bike, too bad. Like, he wasn't going to order anything else, and that was about it. So we kind of went. I think we used to go to like the local moto shop, like one of the bigger dealers, and they'd have like Krusty Demons videos and like and Seth the Hard Way and all that sort of shit. And then maybe, I can't remember where, but I know I had one of the Fox Expendable videos, and I might have got it from there. But yeah, that was always like a bit of a, I don't know. They got us pumped to ride all that crazy heavy metal Rob Zombie shit and
so good back in the day.
But yeah, we used to like go to I remember we used to go to the back of like the Ride BMX magazines and build up custom bikes out of the dance comp catalogs, and be like, yeah, I built this thing, and yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I forget the question now. What was the question?
That's all right. Just talking about the BMX scene. You summed it up perfectly.
Yeah, the scene kind of went from nothing to they built the EC skate park, so the main skate park in Hobart.
Yeah.
So before that, we had like next to nothing. There was a couple of shitty little skate parks. There was the West Hobart Bowl, which everyone's probably reasonably familiar with. It's like the oldest skate park in Australia, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it might be. It's just a big old gnarly snake run that's just like built out of cheese grater, and if you fall off, you die. And that was probably, yeah, we didn't ride there that often because that was like riding through a graveyard, I guess. Took us a little bit later on to get up there, but yeah, once they built that skate park, like we kind of met up with some other dudes from other schools that were into the same sort of things, and then that went from, I don't know, a crew of 3 of us to a crew of maybe like 6, 7 of us, and that grew and grew, and then yeah, there was, we probably weren't aware before they built that park, I can't remember exactly, but there's a crew of dudes above us, like a generation above us, obviously, which were the Clown Bikes guys. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but it was Lee G, who owns Anchor in Melbourne.
Oh yeah, cool.
BMX. It was him and Luke Batchelor, Heath Holden, all these dudes that we used to look up to, just like a generation above us, just going for it on the streets, just like making videos and causing mischief. And we, these 2 dudes we met at that skate park, Trav and Mikey, I remember they had like a college video project they needed to submit by like the end of the year, so they like hit us up and we're like, oh, we need to film a heap of shit, so we all just like went to town on that, and I don't know, that started a whole big thing, I guess, just trying to go for it for who knows what reason, some silly little video,
just fun.
The video was called Depressing Future.
That's so good. That's so BMX. It's not funny. Oh man, that's so good.
Yeah,
like you touched on it before, and I've kind of seen this like within the community. I've been involved with BMX and skate parks as well. But you mentioned like you didn't have that many friends at high school, and you were kind of out of it and loner as well. But it seems like that's kind of a common personality trait with people in BMX, and then as soon as they get to the skate park and start riding with people, they tend to find their kind of crew. Does that kind of resonate with you?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Like even after I got into riding with those boys, like I just wasn't interested in high school, like nothing about it. Like I remember the grade supervisors harassing me to run in the running carnivals and just shit like that I didn't want to do. I remember falling on my ass in one of the running races, like just tripping over my skate shoes because they were big DC boots, laces not done up, and just, I don't know, I definitely found my crew through bikes, that's for sure. Like I kind of went into high school only knowing my cousin and his friends, and there's no chance that he'll listen to this, so I don't have to say don't be offended to my cousin, which I could offend him by saying, but he was a bit of a bogan, and he's pretty naughty. All his mates were just troublemakers, and I just, I don't know. I'm not that kind of person to get into trouble, and I just don't really like it that much. I don't like that uncomfortable feeling, people yelling at. I don't like, what's it called, like confrontation, I guess. Yeah, so I definitely, found my crew, luckily, and it just went forever. Like Simon that I met at school, I still ride with him now, and that's 20 years later. Like we rode trails, like I rode with him at Maydena at Baxter's new jump site 2 weeks ago. Had a ball, like we just high fives all around that we're still doing that 20 years later, man. Like I love it.
It's funny, like you say that, but then like you didn't want to get in trouble and stuff like that, but you like listen to people talk about BMX and they say you're a bunch of troublemakers.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a weird thing, and people think you just go around the streets causing trouble, but you actually, like, you're just a group of mates just having fun on bikes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, what are they've been watching too many Nicole Kidman movies, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they relate us to like bikies, or I don't know. That's weird, isn't it?
It's like a feeder gang for bikies.
I guess there is that thing where you like vandalising. If you're out in the street, you're vandalising shit, and I can see where that side of it will annoy people now that I'm a bit older. Like, back in the day, I wouldn't have thought twice about grinding a handrail and chipping all the paint off it, but now I'd be like, oh no, that'll cost someone money, so I'm not going to do that, I guess. But I could use that as an excuse anyway, not to do it.
We'll go on another tangent, but I always found it funny, like, you'd see someone would yell at you for that, and then they'd go flick their cigarette butt on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Or like the litter, and I was like, dude, you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I guess everyone has their own little...
No one's perfect.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone's got something to complain about too, I suppose. People like yelling at people, like, I don't know. Just people, man. People are crazy.
How long were you... Like, how far did you were you just riding for fun this whole time? Did you ever try and take it seriously and go pro or anything like that? Or was that in your future goals?
I never tried to go pro or go further as such. Like, after all that stuff I talked about and that kind of amateur, I don't want to say amateur, that video project that my mates did in college, we kind of, I don't know, we kept riding for years and years and progressing, and then a couple of other guys rocked up, so Sam and Toby Orchard, a couple of brothers from down my way, that Toby's a bit of a OG trail builder, like jump builder. He had a hand in building some of the first dirt jumps down here. Him and his brother's just a tech guru, loves cameras, loves filming, loves taking photos, dabbles in the bike, but is more interested in getting that shot. So he, when those two come along, they decided we were going to make another video, and we made that one. The first one, it was like pretty successful and got us all a bit of taste for it, and like what Sam could do with his editing and filming, and Toby as well with the filming, and that kind of gave us a taste for it. And then we all kind of, I don't know, kept at it and made another video that went better, made a third video that went apeshit, and like we were all pumped with that, and then stuff started happening. Like, we started getting photos in 2020 and the magazines, and a few shops, like the biggest shops, like Backbone and all those dudes started asking us for the videos to sell, and that kind of made us realize things were happening. But for me personally, like, I can't remember the year, but I got a couple of sponsors through the Cooper Brownlee, the BMX godfather.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Cooper. If I don't know, if you ride a BMX bike in Australia, you need to send him a message and thank him, because he pretty much put it underneath you, as far as I'm concerned. But he hooked me up with a bike shop that I won't name, but pretty decent bike shop, and a distro, and I got Flo from Mutiny, and Duff's Shoes, which is an old shoe brand. I don't know if it's still around, but
don't think so, no.
But
I remember them.
Yeah, I barely remember it, but they were pretty good shoes from what I remember.
Yeah.
But I got that sort of that taste for it, and that's kind of around the time I moved over to Melbourne. So I guess I did try and take it a little bit further. So I quit my job at the time, saved up some money, went over to Melbourne to try and like reach out a bit. Had a few buddies over there, so I got to live in a share house with those guys. So yeah, like one of the clown bikes guys I was saying about, Luke Batchelor, he's a real good buddy of mine. I got to share a house with him and his mates Ryan and Holly for a while, and I just rode every day for 3-4 months, and I don't know, I was just seeing what I could get done in that time, I suppose. But I wouldn't say I tried to take it too much further, but with the sponsors that I had, like, it was real good and I appreciated it heaps, but I'm just a massive overthinker. I can't deal with any pressure. I can't be told what to do. I just wasn't feeling it whatsoever. So I needed to kind of take a step back in the end and chill a bit, I guess. And the vibe from that bike shop that I didn't name was very weird, like almost not making me do things, but requesting that I do things and go filming on this day and make sure I wear this shirt and do this shit. And I was just like, I don't know, man. At the time I had money from my apprenticeship that I'd packed up. I wanted to buy shit that I wanted to ride. I wanted to wear what I wanted to wear. It was just, I just wanted to have fun with it, man. I didn't want to take it too seriously. And the other thing was, like, I was hurt all the time. Like, same as every bike rider. I'm sure this has been told 1,000 times. But,
BMX is a lot worse than mountain biking, that's for sure. So I don't think many people have touched on it.
My body is cactus. Like, it's had it from those years. But, yeah, it probably wasn't as often as I feel like. But looking back, it feels like I was just, like, sitting on the couch every 2 weeks with a cast or something, you know, like broken bones, knocked to the head, whatever. It just got,
And you never take the time to heal, right?
No, that's right. Doctor says you'll never do it again. 2 weeks later, you try and do it again.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How are you, like, when you say, I guess these days we pick up our phone, we take a video and you post it on YouTube or Instagram, but how are you guys, we'll wind it back a bit, but how are you guys kind of doing that? Were you just like burning DVDs and stuff in your backyard, or like how's the whole video distribution back for you guys back then?
Yeah, so it wasn't quite that far back. So we were able to get them made, like, in bulk. I'm not exactly sure of the process as Sam and Toby did most of that. But, yeah, you're right. We had, like, no way of kind of getting it out there. I think, I don't know, we just did it. Like, we were just in it to film and make something. We didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Like, Sammy might have had a fair idea in his mind of what it would look like, but we were just going for it just because, like, we'd all go to work all week, get a bunch of ideas, and on the weekend it was just like free-for-all. We'd just go film all day, eat shit, do a bunch of cool stuff, and then that night we'd all go to Sam's place and drink beers and sit on his bed and watch him chip away at the editing and watch stuff over and over. That was the coolest part for me. I just like watching what he would do with it, and like, he'd, like, if he didn't have the correct noise of a peg sliding on something, like, he'd pull it out of something else and, like, make it sound good. And it's just so sick. I was just frothed on watching him do that. Good. Yeah, we were pretty into, like, making things spot on. Like, there's this thing, I don't know if it's a Tassie thing, but where we didn't have all that much stuff to ride was probably why we ended up doing a lot of street-based stuff. And I think not having that much stuff to ride gives you a good eye for, like, creativity as well. And all the guys that were in those videos were, like, all such different riders. Like, I don't know, me, 2 pegs. I don't know how to explain my riding, but Simon, no pegs, low seat, just style, keeps things simple. Hugh, Andrew, dude from up north, just an absolute beast on the trails. I boost the shit out of anything, effortless style, but we're all just riding street, and like it just brings this mix of, I don't know, it made a good video, and then we just hit up shops and went, do you want this video? I think we got a review in 2020.
Okay. Yeah,
so that definitely helped. Maybe the shops come to us from there. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
How good was 2020 for BMXing and stuff at the time? Like that was like my Bible, even though I didn't ride BMX that much, but I still always picked that magazine up. It was so good.
Yeah, man. Amazing magazine. Did a lot for the Australian BMX scene, that's for sure. I definitely have a decent collection of the oldies.
Yeah, I wish I had mine still. They all got lost somewhere.
Yeah.
And I wish I still had them. That's so good.
Yeah, man. I've got every magazine I ever bought pretty much. I've got a big old stack of history to look through.
Oh, good.
It's good. Got all the focal, I was talking about Cooper's focal point. I've still got all his from issue 1 where it's just paper stapled together.
Yep. That's so good.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, back in those guys will literally, take photos, photocopy them, then staple them together and then just kind of post them out, right?
Yeah, he did. I'm assuming that's what he did. I don't know, but yeah, he got it done. Like, he's put in the work. He's got it done.
One day I'm hoping to get Holmesy on here and talk about 2020 as well. That'd be good. That'd
be a sick one, man. I'd be definitely keen to listen to that.
Yeah. He keeps saying he's coming down here, but I think COVID keeps getting in the way.
Yeah.
So, he's a legend.
Everywhere. Everything. The world's changed, hasn't it?
Not in BMX by the sound of it, though, because like it seems like what you were saying about the riding and like you having to do things and being a part of a team and having to be on certain products and stuff, it seems like that's still the way it is now. But what did you kind of do after that? When you obviously got drained from riding a little bit, did it take your passion out of the sport, or did you get straight back on the bike?
No, I kept riding. Like it was just another factor with all of that sponsor stuff is that, like I was saying, Lee G owns Anchor BMX. He's another good mate of mine. Another guy, Brad, started a shop in Launceston in the north of Tassie. A few of my mates started BMX shops, and I just felt a bit guilty supporting the big shops when the little shops at home or, started by my friends. I wanted to be a part of that, like I wanted to support them. I wanted to put my money into them. So I definitely kept riding just the same as just didn't want that pressure behind me of having to do things that I didn't want to do and that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know if BMX is the same still. I'm sure it is in the sponsors side of things. I'm sure they're all still pressure guys and whatever, but it's definitely gone, just through watching it for so long, it's definitely gone full circle from like the old props videos I used to watch where there was just contests, having a good time, dudes just building shit out of pallets and people yelling and hollering, and then it's just gone through this massive change over the years to like the Feist stuff and like dudes sitting down on stationary road bikes, like just fitness athletes. Like I respect that. That's crazy and it's so good that dudes can do that, but it just got real serious. But in the last few years I feel real good seeing it come back to like the Vans bowl contests that are got all these dudes just shredding, just boost and stuff, and it's all judged by legit bowl riders like Joe Rich and I don't remember who, but dudes that know how to ride a bowl, and this guy's like winning contests without doing a single trick. They just know how to ride, and it's cool to see. And it seems like there's a few companies like Vans that are just, and Etnies, and I don't know, that it just seem to be back end dudes to have fun now. Like
100%.
I don't know whether that's always been around, but I've just noticed that recently, that it just seems like it's chilled out a bit, I think, and there's a lot of guys in the BMX world that seem to be like all those fast and loose guys, familiar with those guys, like they seem to be bringing that element of it back in, and it's so cool. And like the Credence, like Ben Reynolds and just Chase Hawk and those sort of guys, just all the guys that are just don't look like they're trying but making it look real good. It seems to be making a comeback, and I think it's good.
Dude, Chase Hawk is another animal. He's not human. It's bullshit.
Nah, he's a weapon, hey. I love watching that dude.
Those manual videos he puts up on Instagram, it's not physics. He's living on a different world. It's crazy.
Yeah, less is more, as they say. Like, that's the way I've always, I don't know, people might disagree with me, but that's the way I've always liked to ride. Like, just
100%.
haul ass at something and jump over something, or riding jumps and just being in the air. I don't know. It's just the best. Keep it simple. Make it look good. Work away at something simple and make it look spot on.
And what was that event they just had in? Well, they have it once here in America. It's only a few years old, and they just put down pallets and like they ride across a swamp, and they have that like long grind.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can't remember the name of it.
I think Florida Swamp Fest.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's hosted by that Trey Jones dude.
Yeah.
Like rides ramps barefoot. Like
they had what was it? There's more people that rock up to the event than live in the whole town.
Yeah.
That revived my like passion and kind of interest in BMX again, because it was kind of that old school go party, send big stuff, just do dumb shit. Like it looks so good.
Takes it back to what I was saying before about those old props videos with the old FBM jams and stuff like that. Like just going crazy, build crazy shit, and like that guy's an animal too. That Trey Jones dude. I remember reading. Can't remember I read it somewhere or watched a video somewhere that Core Anastasio hit him up and said, "Build me a 40-something foot double at your jam, and I'll fly there and flip it or something." It's like stupid shit, but it's cool.
So good.
Yeah, I love it. It's about time all that stuff
comes back. Yeah.
Come back. Stop being so serious. Bring the fun back into it a bit.
And when did you kind of discover mountain biking?
Year-wise, I have no idea. 2006, 7, 8, who knows. But yeah, after that third video we made, a few guys kind of packed up, moved interstate, including Sam and Toby, the guys that were doing the filming and the editing. So we all kept riding, but we all kind of parted ways a little bit, and then the riding side of it quietened down a bit, I guess. And one of the other guys that I ride with still to this day, I used to ride BMX with him and I ride mountain bikes with him now. His name's Josh Fuller. I think he introduced me to the big bike. Like he harassed me to come and have a go. Like he was probably into mountain bikes before he was into BMX, so he had that background of it. And I guess I got on one from almost like a desperate point of view of like I needed to go back to that riding every weekend. Like I was just riding on my own a lot more and not as active with it. So it just made sense that he was onto me about that. And Hobart has a fucking huge mountain
Yeah.
Why not? So he got me up there and had a few laps, and once I got over the whole, like, oh, I'm a BMXer, I don't ride mountain bikes. Once I got over that, I was hooked, man. It's any BMXer out there who says they don't like mountain biking and they haven't tried it, or they can't ride a mountain bike because it's too big or whatever, just have a go, because it's just so good. It's like, the only way I can explain it is if you what it reminded me of is like, we used to, where the skate park is up in the city in Hobart, we used to bomb down into the middle of the city to ride street, flat out.
Okay.
And there's the main road, and you just haul ass down the main road, dodging cars, like full noise. And that was like the funnest part of the day. And then if you get on a mountain bike, you're on a bike built for that. You get a bigger hill. It's fucking so good. Like, it's just so good, man. So if you're not into it, get into it, because it's good.
It's funny, like, I came back from like overseas and got the bike back. Here was riding for a little bit, and then one BMX guy got one, and then another one, and then another one. Next minute you got Lloydie, like Josh Kathagidis, like we got Rubinik as well, he's riding, like Mozzie, like big names, dudes that have, like, I even think Liam Zinderbergs might have played with one a little bit, and like all the big BMXers from back in the day are all riding mountain bikes now. And they're like, why haven't we been doing this for longer?
All the old boys with the sore wrists and the sore knees.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, man, it's one of them things that, like, I don't know, you have a taste for bikes, and it adapts over time. Like, if you do the same thing forever, you're going to get sick of it, I guess. So you got to explore things that you want to, I don't know, you need to change things up to keep having fun. And you can always ride BMX, but you got to do other shit as well. Like, you do the same thing forever, you burn yourself out.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Like I was saying to you before we pushed record, I took Lloydie for a ride up on the foothills of the mountain a while ago, and it was cool to see that dude. Like, I've looked up to that dude for a long time. Like I was saying about those fast and loose guys and that sort of style setup, and like Mike Aitkins and Chase Hawks and all those guys. I think he is definitely comparable to them guys in the BMX world. Like, his style was something that I was just like blown away by, man. And it was cool to take him up there, and I had a little bit of a fanboy moment. Tried to keep my cool, and he's a nice fella. Hey, he's
good
shredder, and he's like ride that hill like he rode it every day. Jumped all the jumps, just
bullshit. Yeah,
kept up with it the whole time. No worries.
And it's all their BMX styles transfer directly to their mountain bike. Like, they all ride the same way.
Yeah.
Like, it's just he's got that same flow, and other riders have that same kind of, I'm going to make the bike do what I want it to do, whether it wants to or not. And they do that on the mountain bike as well. It's pretty interesting to watch. Yeah,
man. I guess a bike's a bike at the end of the day, and if you've ridden BMX for 10 or 15 years or whatever, you're pretty versed in having some wheels underneath you, so you just got to adapt to another bike. And like, this makes me feel like I've been doing it forever, but when I started riding the mountain bikes, they were a bit bigger and a bit tankier, and this was only like 6 years, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I guess. Now they're just like light as a feather. Like, they not feel like BMXs, but they're just as easy to throw around. They're like, I don't know, man. You can adapt from one to the other. I do it every weekend. You ride one, you ride the other. Like, it feels weird as hell, but it's, I don't know, you get used to it.
What was it about the mountain biking that kind of got you hooked? What was the differences, and what kind of revived your spirit for it?
I guess I just love that out of control feeling, like that feeling you get when you're going this far, like just an inch above your comfort zone, and you're sliding out or you just start swapping somewhere and your heart starts going, and then you get away with it and you just piss yourself laughing. Like, that's the bit I like about it. Like, it's so fun. And like, I don't know, the scene as well is good. Like, everyone's chilling. No one's, you know, I don't know, like, I don't want to speak for the whole BMX scene, but the BMX things back when I was into it was a bit like, you know, get back to the mountain, you get off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of that sort of setup going. Yeah, I don't know. I just love I just love hauling ass down a hill. It's fun. Like, what more do you need? Just let it loose, blow off some steam. It's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I guess, like, why you're doing all this? When did art kind of come into it as well? Like, have you always been drawing, or like were you always trying to be like a professional artist as well? Like, how did you kind of progress that avenue of your life as well?
That's always been around, like, forever. My mum's super creative. She's always painted and made stuff and encouraged me to do it. And I guess, like I was saying, in high school, I just wasn't into school whatsoever, but that was one subject I looked forward to, not only because I get to draw or whatever, but because I had a gem of a teacher too. She was the friendliest lady who just saw what I wanted to do and encouraged that, and like didn't ever push me to, you know, draw a banana if I didn't want to. She just encouraged me to draw weird shit and just go with the flow. And like I don't know, there was a few other guys in that class that were the same, but again, a fella I met in that class is one of my best friends today. His name's Ben Florence. He's an amazing artist. Like, he doesn't even try to push it whatsoever. He just, like, he's a teacher now, and he when the kids are doing silent reading or whatever they're doing, he's drawing and he's sending me Snapchats, and I'm like, dude, that's the fucking best thing I've ever seen. And he's just like doodling away while he's like not even thinking about it. But yeah, it's always been there. That teacher that I was talking about, I can't remember exactly what the project was or the study, but we had to draw. It was something to do with our own version of like a music cover, like an album cover.
Yep.
And I drew a Queen cover, and I just drew this picture of the Queen, like playing a guitar, just doing something stupid like that.
Sick. Yeah.
And I didn't even know, but she entered me in some art competition, like local Hobart art competition.
Yeah.
Didn't even tell me about it. Didn't ask me, whatever. And I ended up winning it. And I come to school on the Monday, and all my mates were just like, "Hey, Miss Loverick," her name was. "Miss Loverick's looking for you. She's been asking around for you." And I was like, "Oh fuck, what have I done?" I'm like,
"Yep,
I'm in trouble, whatever." And she just walked up to me and like slapped $200 in my hand. And for like a high school kid back then, I'd made it. Like, I was loaded, man. I was like, couldn't believe it. And then she told me what happened, and like, yeah, I couldn't thank her enough. She just encouraged me to like get right into that, I guess. And from then on, I've just been into it. Like, I've just always drawn stuff. I don't know why. That's my downtime. I listen to tunes, I draw stuff, and my like I said, my mum always encourages it and compliments me and pushes me, and yeah, I love doing it. And it was also another thing, I don't know, something to do while I was hurt on the bike as well. Like, I found a lot of downtime, broken ankles, I fractured my hip, I've broken my wrists, and all. It's what everyone says that rides. They've broken everything. Yeah. But you end up with a lot of time just sitting on your ass, and you can't just watch TV. Like, an hour of that, and you go nuts. Like, it's a pretty shit spot to be. So, you got to find something else to do, and that was my way out. I just found painting or drawing was just my way of spending the day, I guess.
Do you find like everyone talks about like the flow state and zenning out when you're on a bike and you're just like focusing on that point? Do you find the same kind of feeling when you're drawing? You kind of get lost in the process and you're just focusing on that without thinking about anything else?
100%, man. It's very similar to writing. Like, it's just a focal point where you just zone in on it, like you were saying. And yeah, I just zone out for hours at a time and stare at us. Well, I used to stare at a piece of paper, but these days I've gone full digital. So yeah, stare at a screen until it goes flat, pretty much. And yeah, it definitely clears the mind. It's definitely a quiet place for me, just to turn my brain off, switch it to something else, which I'm not very good at.
Yeah. You must be an artist. What was the transition from paper to digital like? Because it's such a different drawing feel.
It was sick, man. Like, it's only very recent for me. Like, I've always drawn on paper, canvas, pieces of wood, whatever I could find. But I don't know where I got the idea of the digital side of things. I think maybe from chasing different, I don't know, I have like these certain ideas I want out of a drawing or anything that I make, and I'm just forever chasing it. And I think the digital side of it made me realise that I could find all these different ways to do things, and so much easier as well. Like, with the ink side of things, I used to do like heaps of stippling. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's just like dots, thousands of dots to create like a shaded area. And I got into the zone of thinking like that was my thing, and it just drove me up the friggin' wall. Like, I just got so sick of doing it, man. And now I can just jump on this program and just, I feel like I've completely changed up what I do lately. But it's good. It's another avenue to go down. Like, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. Like, I haven't touched a piece of paper in the last 6 months or a pen.
That's so good. Where did you kind of, like you said, you drew that album cover, which was a bit out there, but where did you kind of find your inspiration? Because your style's like this kind of unique kind of mash up of things that shouldn't be together. Like, where did you find that kind of style from?
I don't know, man. Like, I honestly don't know. I think like back where I was, if I'm thinking back, maybe when I moved to Melbourne for that amount of time, I had a lot of downtime too, and that's probably where I started drawing a fair bit. And I don't know, but I think I just started drawing like stupid animals doing weird shit, because I do remember when I first moved there, those guys were flat out. Do you remember Wilfred? Remember that show?
Yes.
That dog that was like chilling on the couch, smoking bongs and drinking beer and eating pizza and just being a piece of shit. That just got me going, I think. I just got inspired by that to draw some weird animals doing weird shit. And like, I definitely get inspired by other artists that I really admire, and one of those guys, his name's Jeremy Fish. He's a dude from America, as every artist seems to be from America, but he draws crazy animals doing weird shit that they shouldn't be doing. I think I just went on a tangent with that, and like, I don't know, it's just a funny subject. Like, animals and humans are pretty close, and it's just so funny I don't know, it's funny to think that if animals were this much, like that much further advanced, if they were up walking and talking, like what they'd be up to. And I just ran with that idea, man. Like, and there's so many like species and and different types of animals. It's just a never-ending story. Like I just see something and I'll run with that. I don't know where I get it from. Was that the question? I don't even remember what the question was.
It must be like a whole different journey for you watching David Attenborough and stuff like that, right? Or you're not even thinking about
it. No, seriously, that's where I get a whole lot of ideas from. Hey, like, animals are insane. Like, I was watching one of those things the other night. My wife was showing my little boy this spider, and it literally holds like a lasso in its legs, I suppose you'd say, and waits for something to come along and then throws it like a friggin' cowboy and like catches a moth in it and then pulls it into itself. It's insane. Like,
yeah,
that's literally where I get a lot of ideas from, is that sort of shit. Like, just an idea or a quote or like something I see or some music lyrics or something stupid. Like, usually once I'm drawing something, I'll have another idea before I finish that. There would be like just an animal that I want to draw or a person that I want to draw or something, and then while I'm drawing the previous one, that'll just turn into something else, like through an idea or something I see or do. I don't know. Some people have like a massive story behind their artistic, wank walk through whatever. I don't. I just run with what I feel like, and over time that's adapted to some weird shit, I suppose.
Some good stuff. How long does it usually take, like, for a piece? I guess obviously depends on size and complexity, but like, how long does it take from concept to completion usually for like a big drawing?
Definitely depends on size and the idea and all that sort of stuff. Like, I've drawn things that, I don't know, I sketch stuff all the time. It takes me an hour to sketch out a heap of ideas, write a heap of stuff down, whatever. I did one a while ago, which I intended to enter in a big competition, but that all got canned through COVID, all that bullshit. That one took me near 60 hours to complete.
Shit.
That was the biggest one I ever did. But on like an average of what I usually, what I'm creating now on the digi side of things, probably like anywhere between 8 to 10 to 12 hours, maybe more.
Exactly.
Not really counting, to be honest.